Max Verstappen has genuinely been the best racer in 2023, and I think he can win every single race from now on, especially because the next race is Spa, and that is Max Verstappen's favorite circuit. I feel like we are underplaying how amazing of a season Max Verstappen is having. And yes, maybe it is boring to the casual eyes, but I personally think, now looking at it, not even being a necessarily Red Bull fan, I want Max Verstappen to go on and break every record. I want him to be so insanely hungry for it, which he always is, that he is just going to go and do what he does best, and that is win. And I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, how he has been against Sergio Perez, the rest of the competition, and what he is doing with this car. I mean, first of all, with Sergio Perez, I feel like the competition isn't even close. Now, I think for Red Bull, this is practically the perfect situation. Why switch Sergio if Max is dominating and Max can win the world championship by himself? In a year like 2023, this is almost the ideal pairing that you want for the team. Now, while it might not be ideal for our eyes as the fans to really see what's going on, it is ideal from a Red Bull perspective. The whole reason being, he's not fighting anybody, he has no competition. I mean, we just had a Perez win driver of the day from going from 9th to 3rd. And I think Lando Norris put it nicely.
He got driver of the day, what the hell?
And we have now a hungry Daniel Ricciardo coming back looking to take that seat. And I think he would give a lot better of a competition against Max. But all in all, can you take a guess at what the gap is between Perez and Max Verstappen on an average? Because the number is pretty crazy. And I'm talking about Max Verstappen wins. The only ones I did not count was Australia, and obviously the 2 wins that Perez didn't get. I'm talking about when Verstappen wins, what do you think the average gap is between them in the race? It is 38.6 seconds. He is ahead in the same car with the teammate by 38.6 seconds. Now, if we take out the Monaco, which was a 2 laps difference, it is still around the range of 20. So a 20-second difference is practically insane. I think Max Verstappen can do a 720 and still end up winning the race. It just comes to show you, yes, the car is strong. Yes, he's a great driver, but this is man and machine in sync. At its finest, this is how Michael was with Ferrari. This is how Lewis was not even 3 or 4 years ago in that 2020 Mercedes, in that 2019, 2018. Regardless, just a man on a mission, in sync. Max Verstappen is genuinely unstoppable. And as I said, with the race that we have left in the season, I think he can go on and win every single one. I think he's going to break the Vettel record, considering we have Spa and then Zandvoort. The car is going to stick to that ground like nothing other going into Zandvoort. He is about to just kill everybody on that track. If he killed everybody on Silverstone, which I mean the gap would have been a lot bigger if it wasn't for the safety car, imagine what he's going to do here at Zandvoort. It's almost kind of ideal on those like turns. It's more medium to high speed corners. It's probably going to be a closer track in qualifying with a lot of other cars, but no car can compete on that track like that Red Bull can. And I mean, give it to Max Verstappen, give him the fans, give him that extra 2 to 3 tenths bonus. You already know that man is about to cook. I mean, those 2 races will tie him with Vettel. And after Zandvoort, we go into Monza. So, I mean, what are the chances that somebody's going to beat that Red Bull monster down the straights in Monza? I don't think there's much. Maybe Ferrari somehow puts off a pole, but they ain't winning. And they're definitely not going to come close to what Max Verstappen is going to pull out of that car. So there you go. That is 10 wins. Now, rest of the season, we have Singapore, Japan, Qatar, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. And what are my opinion on these races? Is there any that he could lose? Well, I mean, let's go. If Sergio Perez is the street master, then maybe he can take in Singapore. But last year, we tend to forget. Max Verstappen only qualified in that bad position because they had to actually take him in before he finished the lap. Otherwise, he would have gotten disqualified in qualifying and would have been 20th. So instead, they took the safe, was it P7 or P10? I forget the exact number. They took the safe bet, put him into the lap. He was 1.5 seconds above on anybody else there. 1.5 seconds. It was not even going to be close in qualifying. He would have gotten pole position and ran away with it. That was the race he lost to Sergio Perez. The last one that he lost. I mean, I guess in 2022. Let me keep my words to myself. Singapore, he'll win. Japan, that is where McLaren's could be strong. I think that could be a more competitive race. I don't think it'll be enough to take it onto Max Verstappen. Now, Qatar should be a pretty strong race for McLaren as well, but tire wear, let's see if they fix that. Don't think that's going to be going their way. I was going to say Singapore would be tough with Aston Martin, but as you can tell, the car has fallen off, sadly, for me. It is not doing well. USA, that could be a competitive track. Maybe Merc is up there. Mexico can be a competitive track against other teams. I still think Max is going to take them all. Brazil, I guess if we go off of the trend of last year, but RedBull also had a terrible race and everything went wrong. Las Vegas, they're going to cream everybody. Abu Dhabi should be a closer track, but that could be a pretty strong track for Aston Martin if they get back into their old ways. Right now, they ain't going to be close to anything. They're going to be close to fighting with Alpine and Ferrari right now, the way that it's looking. So going off of that, what are the thoughts? Can he really win all of these races? Is that something that Max Verstappen can pull off? Winning from now on. I mean, what would that even be? He's at 7 victories in a row right now. Red Bull just broke the record for the 12 win streak in a row. I mean, the guy has just been a man on a mission, as I keep saying. It is phenomenal to watch, and I feel like we need to give it the respect that it deserves. He is an animal. He is a beast. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up, and really the topic that really kind of made me think, a lot of people like to claim that this 2023 season is boring. Seeing Max Verstappen dominate, seeing him win, how predictable it is that a Red Bull will win. I mean, the funny statistic that I just literally heard about was that if Mercedes did not take the win in Brazil, they would have won the last 22 races. It's so absurd that that car is just that dominant, and that driver pairing is just, by pairing I mean Max Verstappen in the RB19. Now that is some type of trouble. I was going to talk about, though, from not even last year, but 2020. A lot of people like to bring up the boringness of 2023, but forget about 2020, and they say that was a very fun season. That was still a very tight season. Well, that car arguably was just as dominant as this RB19, at least in raw pace. It had that DOS system. It was just a monster. Lewis was a monster. And yes, he was winning most of the races. But what made that year fun? What made it even more exaggeratingly fun? It was Max Verstappen for a lot of those races. He even ended up taking a race win. But it's that diving style that he has. It's that balls to the wall, going after everybody, just trying to be that guy to win the race. We are missing that in 2023. Honestly, if I was in Lewis's spot, I would have turned in on Max from the very beginning. I mean, that's just the mentality that I thought that's what Max would do. Max would take it to the next level to dive in, to get that advantage, and maybe, just maybe, take that win. I feel like we're missing that from a couple of guys. Charles Leclerc's let him pass a couple of times. Lando Norris and Silverstone, after leading, kind of just let him go. It's kind of missing. The Max Verstappen mentality is not there because the guy is leading every single race. Nobody has that, what I like to say, just that beast inside of them to be like, dude, listen, you're either going off the track or I'm taking first. I would love to see that out of a lot more drivers this season. I get it from a race perspective, second or third, but what did Max say? What does Max say, and what makes him that great guy? I'm either finishing first or I'm finishing last. He did not care. Obviously, in seasons that it was close, like 2021, he'll take the P2. He'll take the P3. He needs the points to gather. It was important for them going into that season. But he was that guy. He's like, dude, I'm going for the race win every single race. Inferior car, superior car, it does not matter for him. He pitted on that last lap in Austria, and just to tell you how much this guy has taken a piss out of us this season, he saw David Coulthard waiting for him for the interview and purposefully inched closer just so he could tell David Coulthard after, he'd be like, hey, were you a little bit scared of me getting that close to you? He could recognize that was David Coulthard in the car while he's going for a pit stop that could screw up for him to put in the fastest lap. That's Max Verstappen. That's Max Verstappen in 2023, and that's just a great way to tell you what this guy has been doing and why he has just been the animal that he is and that he deserves to be. I want to hear your thoughts. As a Lewis fan, as a Fernando fan, as a whatever fan you are, I want to hear what you think of Max Verstappen and specifically how he has been this season. Give him the respect. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, I want to hear also, I guess, the positive and the negative. I want to hear everything you guys hear, everything you guys think about with Max Verstappen. Love to hear it all. Let's talk about it. Please leave a like, subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.